Welcome back to our channel World of Royals.
I choose people whose lives are shrouded in mystery and they've climbed the greasy pole. They want to be famous, they want to be influential, they want to be powerful.
We can't ignore them if they keep popping up doing stuff like this. That's the thing. We're kind of in a mutually abusive, toxic relationship, aren't we? The media and Harry and Meghan, because they keep doing stuff wanting attention. Then they get quite adverse reaction most of the time. Then they react really badly to the reaction. And so it goes on.
Well, what it really boils down to is the threat they offer. If the threat was punctured, which I hope my book will do.
What if the royal fairy tale the world fell in love with was never the full story? What if the glowing headlines, emotional interviews, and carefully polished public image were only the surface of something far more complicated? Because the deeper people look into the story of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, the more the narrative begins to shift. What once appeared to be a modern royal love story has slowly transformed into one of the most controversial chapters the monarchy has faced in decades. To some observers, Meghan Markle first...
Well, I do think the Sussex overdrive is unbelievable. But, I mean, I don't think that he is going to get back in.
It is interesting how she's exposing her as a yacht girl, someone who was paid off by rich men to go and hang out.
Appeared as a refreshing outsider, confident, modern, and ready to bring new energy to the royal family. But critics argue the story soon began to look less like a fairy tale and more like a carefully managed public brand, fueled by dramatic headlines, media attention, and constant controversy. Prince Harry, once widely respected for his military service and dedication to royal duty, now stands beside Meghan in a very different role. Together, the couple openly challenged the institution Harry was born into, sharing personal accusations about life inside palace walls while insisting they are simply...
Which showed that he is very commercially minded, which we'll get into later on, which makes it impossible for him. And of course, Meghan wouldn't come back to Britain.
...telling their truth. But critics argue the narrative keeps shifting with every new interview, documentary, or public appearance. Investigative biographer Tom Bower has stepped back into the spotlight, pointing to details from Meghan's past that he believes were overlooked when the world first embraced the royal romance. His claims have sparked a renewed debate about what may have been hidden behind the glamorous headlines. There's also a twist many critics believe people rarely say out loud. According to them, Meghan and Harry are not rebels fighting against the royal system. Instead, they argue the couple's...
Meghan Markle likely spent time with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein before she even met Prince Harry.
...still relies on the monarchy's influence while publicly criticizing it, turning emotional interviews, personal struggles, and media appearances into a powerful public narrative. As the couple continues speaking out, public skepticism has grown. Some critics now believe the once powerful image they built together is beginning to crack. And according to Tom Bower, the deeper you examine Meghan's past and public persona, the more surprising the story becomes. One of the most debated parts of Bower's claims involves Meghan's apparent fascination with Princess...
And that's what she used as a weapon at the time. So there were quite a few things about her personal life. I'll work them into another book, I think.
Diana. He suggests that Meghan studied Diana's public image closely, observing her gestures, expressions, and emotional connection with the public. Critics argue it sometimes appeared as though Meghan was trying to recreate the same powerful presence for herself, but critics insist there is a major difference between studying an image and genuinely living it. According to them, the carefully timed expressions, emotional moments, and dramatic interviews begin...
...is that Meghan has got no real income anymore. She's finished.
Right.
Netflix series is over. There's no great podcast. They don't generate any money. And I don't see where she is going from here. I think she has a major problem.
And to feel less authentic over time. What once looked heartfelt to supporters began raising doubts among more skeptical viewers. For many observers, the situation became even more uncomfortable when Princess Diana's legacy appeared increasingly tied to the couple's public narrative. Critics say the memory of Diana began to look less like a tribute and more like a brand attached to their story. Instead of honoring her legacy, they argue it sometimes felt like a carefully
Harry, being a simple soul, has easily changed to suit Meghan's
crafted comparison designed to attract attention. Rather than strengthening the comparison, critics say it had the opposite effect. The more Meghan appeared connected to Diana's image, the more noticeable the differences became. What was meant to inspire admiration instead turned the situation into a spectacle that kept growing harder to ignore. According to Tom Bower, the Diana comparison was only the beginning. The next layer of the story touches on rumors about Meghan's past connections in elite social circles. Critics claim she moved through exclusive environments filled with wealthy businessmen, celebrities, and influential figures.
Prince Harry, his heart has seemed to have softened, or there's been some sort of evolution. So I do think you're right that a lot of us were kind of caught off guard by the Prince Andrew decision, because we had grown accustomed to cuddly Charles, Grandpa Charles, with the grandkids in his lap. And when I saw the news, I thought, I don't know if I'll ever see anything like this again in my lifetime, but maybe I will because of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
This is where connections often mattered more than traditional career paths. From this perspective, critics argue Meghan's rise to global fame may not have been driven solely by acting success. Instead, they believe strategic networking and powerful connections played a major role, eventually placing her in the path of Prince Harry, the relationship that would change her public profile forever. Tom Bower's reporting paints a far less accidental picture of how Meghan entered the royal spotlight. According to critics who share his view, her rise appears less like chance and more like careful navigation through opportunities and influential circles until she reached the center of global attention. At the same time, critics point to contradictions in Meghan's public statements. In some interviews, she suggests she knew little about Prince Harry or the royal family before meeting him. In others, she describes learning details about royal life long before their relationship began. Those shifting accounts have left observers asking a simple question: which version is true? Each new interview.
Well, and also saying all that work to do in Africa, which he dedicated his life to, but prefers now to paddle in the Pacific in Santa Monica.
Right.
Well, he does it because he needs a profile. That's the only way they can get money, by showing the profile. And for Netflix, everything is built around the future documentary series to promote the Sussex.
Documentary or public appearance seems to add another layer of debate. Critics say the repeated talking points and carefully managed appearances sometimes make the couple's story feel rehearsed rather than spontaneous. Over time, these contradictions have caused growing skepticism among viewers. Public trust can be fragile, and critics argue that once doubts begin to form, they spread quickly across media platforms. What once looked like a powerful media partnership now appears to some observers as a carefully controlled narrative that is struggling to maintain credibility. Hollywood opportunities that once seemed limitless have also become part of the debate. Major deals with streaming platforms were expected to produce groundbreaking content. Instead, critics say the projects often focused heavily on personal grievances and ongoing disputes rather than delivering the compelling stories audiences anticipated. In the entertainment industry, reputation plays a powerful role in determining future opportunities. As controversy surrounding the couple grew, some critics argue that potential collaborators became more cautious, unsure whether partnerships with the Sussex brand would bring success or more public drama. Another controversial part of Tom Bower's portrayal focuses on the dynamic between
declining. I think that his reputation is somewhat toxic, and I think Invictus is his only lifeline.
Meghan and Harry. Critics claim Meghan often appeared to guide the couple's public messaging and media appearances, shaping how their relationship and personal story were presented to the world. According to these critics, the biggest shift may have been in Harry himself. Once viewed as an independent and confident royal figure, he now appears, at least to some observers, more closely tied to the couple's shared narrative. The prince, known for his military service and outspoken personality, now seems to play a quieter role in the public spotlight. Critics have also pointed to moments involving the couple's children becoming part of major public discussions. Announcements, names, and appearances sometimes arrive during intense media moments, leading some observers to question whether these events are carefully timed within the couple's wider media strategy. According to these critics, the pattern creates a cycle. When public criticism grows louder, images of family life and devoted parenthood move to the forefront. Then, once the pressure fades, the couple retreats again from the spotlight. This pattern has only fueled ongoing debate about how carefully their public image is managed. Over time, the once glittering image surrounding the couple has faced growing scrutiny. The Oprah interview, once seen as a shocking revelation, is now heavily debated.
They want to hide their secrets, and I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know. And that was very critical because at that moment last year, she was about to promote her Netflix series and didn't want to firstly be seen with Harry, and secondly didn't want to go somewhere where she'd appear cheap.
Their Netflix series, expected to redefine their public legacy, instead left some viewers feeling fatigued by repeated grievances and emotional storytelling. When the glamour, emotional interviews, and media battles are stripped away, critics say a very different picture emerges. Instead of bold outsiders reshaping the royal world, some now see two public figures struggling to maintain relevance as their carefully crafted narrative faces increasing pressure. Whether that perception is fair or not remains part of an ongoing debate that shows no sign of fading anytime soon.